The deep details of Daniel 8 and 11 are fascinating. Daniel 11 shows us the forming of the fourth beast of Daniel 7. Let's talk about the prophecies of Daniel and how many of them are painting pictures of the end time, the last day, and the time of the Antichrist. Daniel 11 and 12 show us the most detail about the man of sin, by far, but we get an even clearer picture when we combine the other prophecies together with it. The timeline starts with the Babylonian Empire's demise in Daniel 2:2. Daniel 2 shows a prophecy of the Babylonian Empire and the sequential empires that rule the world until the return of Christ. Babylon first, then Media-Persia, then Greek, then Roman, and then when Jesus returns at the end of days, it will be the Iron and Clay Kingdom, the Holy Roman and Islamic Kingdom, the EU and Arab League today. That much is known from what is now history. Also, Daniel 5 shows the prophecy and fulfillment of the Babylonian Empire's demise by Darius the Mede. Again, history. Daniel 8 shows more of what is now history, with the prophecy of the Medes and Persians' demise by Alexander the Great and the Greek Empire. This is where it gets very interesting. It begins by giving us prophecy that is now fulfilled of the Greek Empire breaking up into 4 parts after Alexander died. The Greek Empire broke into 4 parts, and then we leap to the end time and the Antichrist. In verse 23, in the later time, we see the Antichrist rising to power. We see the same historical prophecy and leap to the end time in Daniel 11. Daniel 11 shows the same beginning as Daniel 8, with the falls of the Medes and Persians, the Greek Empire breaking into 4 parts, and the leap to the end time and the Antichrist. In verse 6, again, in the end of years, we see the rise of the Antichrist. And in Daniel 10, the angel declares the vision is what will happen in the latter days. This is all definitely speaking of the end time, no doubt. In Daniel 8, he becomes the abomination of desolation, and the daily sacrifice is taken away. We're given the timeline, 2300 days, starting from the time of his rising to power and including the length of his rule. He is broken without hand in the end. Note that Daniel 8:26 says, "It shall be for many days." This matches Daniel 10:14, where the angel is speaking to Daniel and declares his purpose. "Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days." The same declaration for both Daniel 8 and Daniel 11 and 12 prophetic timelines. Many days into the future until this comes to pass. Just like Daniel 8, in Daniel 11, he becomes the abomination of desolation, and the daily sacrifice is taken away. We're given a timeline again, this time 1290 days, declaring the length of his rule, stated in Daniel 12, where Daniel 8 shows the 2300 days of the total time from the start of rising to power. Here, it's just the time of his reign over the whole world. Again, he comes to his end in the end, and none shall help him. In Daniel 9, we're given the 70 weeks prophecy, and the people of the prince that shall come will destroy, and he, the prince that shall come, shall confirm the covenant for the last week. Here also, he is made the abomination of desolation, and the daily sacrifice is taken away by him. Daniel 11 also gives us some details of things that happen prior to this man appearing on the scene. Daniel 11:6, "And in the end of years they shall join themselves together." This is when it begins. This could be referring to the creation of the EU in 1993, or it could be specifically referring to the King of the South and his kingdom and some other nation. Since the Greek Empire broke into 4 pieces, one of which included part of Egypt, specifically mentioned in verse 8, it is a mystery at this time. But it seems more likely that it's referring to some movement of kingdoms in the end of years, so it may be the eventual happenings as a result of the kingdom's movements. We may understand in the end, but let's look at the events leading up to the Antichrist in the following verses. Verse 7, out of a branch of her roots. Probably impossible to know which branch of her roots this refers to, but this begins the rolling back and forth battling of 2 kings. The king of the south and the king of the north battle back and forth. This may or may not have actually happened yet. It seems likely, since it's a lead up to the coming of the Antichrist, that it's probably happening now or will soon. In verse 19, the king of the north stumbles and falls and is not found. Then a raiser of taxes takes over for a few days, but he is destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle, maybe an assassin, because then in verse 21, the vile person, the Antichrist, obtains the kingdom. Could be that he has the raiser of taxes killed so he can take over. He obtains the kingdom by flatteries, and after the league made with him, he works deceitfully. He's making deals with others, but not honestly, and he forecasts devises cunning plots against the strongholds, defenders. He becomes strong with a small, few people, a small nation. He attacks the king of the south. He either resumes his predecessor's war or begins a new war with a great and mighty army. But they devise cunning plots, forecast devices, and the king of the south is poisoned, it seems, as we see in verses 25 and 26. The signing of the peace treaty, the holy covenant that they have indignation about. This is what I think is the actual confirmation of the covenant from Daniel 9. They speak lies and try to do mischief, but it is not allowed to prosper yet, because it's not time yet, God's time. The end shall be at the time appointed. He returns to his own land with great riches, and his heart is against the holy covenant, the one he just signed in attempt to do mischief. Their mischievous plans, with the creation of a Palestinian state, did not produce what they wanted, because God stopped it. This begins the final 7 years from Daniel 9. This may be a forcing of peace with a forced 2-state solution, and may bring international forces to fulfill Luke 21:20. At the time appointed, 8 months later, he returns toward the south. Others come against him, and he is grieved and returns with indignation against the holy covenant, and he has intelligence with others that forsake the holy covenant. He has indignation against the covenant that he helped confirm by signing the peace treaty with many in Daniel 9. They, the other Islamic nations, also hate the peace treaty, indignation against the holy covenant. He teams up with others who also hate it and declares himself the Mahdi of Islam. He is hailed as Mahdi of Islam by 10 Islamic kings who declare that he is the Mahdi and create an alliance with him. This creates the 10-king alliance of Daniel the 7, the fourth beast. Revelation 17:17 shows it is God that causes them to give him their power. I believe this is the event that begins the 2300 days from Daniel 8. He stands up and waxes great and becomes the end-time Mahdi of Islam from Islamic prophecy, the exact duplicate prophecies that Satan set up in Islam to fool them. 2.3 years later, in the midst of the final week, He takes away the daily sacrifice and is placed by they to rule the world, and becomes the abomination of desolation. Daniel 8:24. His power is mighty, but not his own power. They, the minions of Satan and the Islamic kings, give him their power. It is now the time appointed. God has released his barrier. Verse 31. Arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary, take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination. He's put into power by the people of the alliance he creates with the fourth beast, the 10 Islamic kings, and the 3 other kings of Daniel 7. They all become one alliance under him. Revelation 13. This begins the 1290 days from Daniel 12. This is the point where Jesus warned those in Judea to flee when this happens. He will tell all the Muslims in Judea and Samaria to kill all their Jewish neighbors. Matthew 24:16 through 18. He makes war with the saints. Revelation 13, Daniel 7, Daniel 8:24. He exalts himself above every god. Daniel 11:36 and 2 Thessalonians 2. He declares himself to be God. He works with a strange God, the God of forces. He's fighting wars. Daniel 11:40. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Daniel 12. And at that time, during his reign, is the time of trouble, the tribulation. The great tribulation is during his reign. He'll be hunting down and killing every Jew and Christian he can during this time. In the end, he is destroyed by Jesus Christ. Get right with God and serve him to help others understand what's about to happen and how to come out the other side on the winning side with Christ.